Thank you very much. Thank you, Sanjay ji and Amit and Mr. Goyal sir. Uh, in this webinar, we are going to discuss importance of accurate molasses analysis. We will see which methods are presently used and their drawbacks. The methods for molasses analysis like polarimetry and Lane-Enon titrimetric methods are being used since a long time in sugar industry. The methods are popular, convenient, and also cost effective. But we have to think whether these methods are giving accurate results for sugar analysis for molasses or not. So in this presentation, in this program, we will discuss the accuracies and properties of traditional methods of molasses analysis as well as gas chromatography. I will not say that gas chromatography is new technique. It is very old technique and ICUMSA has given official methods since long back for analysis of molasses by gas chromatography and liquid chromatography. In 1996, when I was working with Vasantdada Sugar Institute, uh, I have written a thesis along with my student on HPLC analysis of sugar and sugar house products. So this is not new technique. Only in India, the technique is not familiar. So let us go to the presentation. As per introduction of Sanjay ji and Mr. D.K. Goyal, we will start the presentation. C&B molasses analysis, traditional versus chromatographic methods. So molasses is very complicated mixture and composition is always very complicated. It is very difficult to handle the molasses samples. We will see what are the general ingredients of molasses. It contains sucrose, which is very important and costly and precise, and for which trading of molasses is going on. Another constituents are reducing sugars, that means glucose and fructose. Molasses also contains organic non-sugars, inorganic constituents, and water. So this is broad ingredients of molasses. So this is range of composition. The total solids or bricks is 75% to 85%, sucrose 25% to 40%, and reducing sugars 12% to 20%. Inorganic part of molasses is from 8% to 16%, and inorganic part contains cations like calcium, magnesium, sodium, iron, and anions like sulfate, chlorides, phosphates, silicates are also present there. So it is a very complicated mixture. And to find out what is percentage of sugars, that means sucrose, glucose, and fructose, is really a challenge, a task. So why the subject is important? We can see molasses trading is equal to sugar trading. So be ensured about correct measurements. You are taking money for sugar in molasses and you are paying money for sugar in molasses. So the topic is very, very important. And so let us see what we are doing today and what we are planning to do tomorrow. The first method or very popular method, ICUMSA call these methods are as accepted methods. The methods are liked by industry, they are accepted by industry, and they are very popular in industry because there are so many virtues of these methods. So this is official ICUMSA method, polarimetry, ICUMSA GS4 7-1. And the method itself says it may form basis of molasses purchase contracts. It may form in absence of raffinose, kestose, and unknown optical active substances. There is a condition when this may form the basis of molasses purchase contracts. But all these impurities, they are present in molasses. So the method itself is saying the results obtained by these methods or this method as apparent sucrose. It is not exact sucrose or true sucrose. And this is everything is written in this method itself. And it is not a proper sucrose measurement. So why it is not proper sucrose measurement? What is affecting constituents? Glucose, fructose, starch, dextran, they all are dextrorotatory. They are rotating the plane of polarization in the right side. And fructose, it is levorotatory in the opposite side. So aggregate pole of molasses, whatever we are getting on our polarimeter, is pole of sucrose plus glucose plus fructose plus dextran plus kestose plus X, where X is any unknown compound which can rotate the plane of polarization. So all these constituents are contributing in pole, which we are measuring as sucrose content. And by substituting pole ratios for representative compounds and their concentrations, pole is ultimately is equal to, you can see the equation 1 into concentration of sucrose, 0.8 is factor contributed by glucose, then minus 1.3. It is opposite factor and it is contributed by fructose. 3 is factor given by dextran, zero point 0.4 by kestose, and X which is unknown. So you can see how many constituents are interfering in analysis with polarimetry. You can see this picture. The polarimetry is buyer's profit and seller's loss. You can see the pole value. Here, from dextrorotatory side, sucrose, glucose, dextran and kestose, they are pulling the value or reading, and from another side, fructose is there. And by polarimetry, the sucrose content is underestimated by 2.5 to 6.5%. So whatever we are getting by polarimetry, the results are always underestimated. Now we can take the another method which is also very popular and convenient, but it is little bit tricky. And in next presentation by Dr. Nimbalkar, he will explain how the method is tricky and why the results are vary from lab to lab. This is ICUMSA GS433 and method itself says method may form basis of molasses purchase contract. It is not sure that it will be basis of molasses purchase contract. It may. It measures reducing substances in molasses. We generally confuse by RS, term RS. RS is reducing substances and not reducing sugars. This is very important point. These are impurities. The method is based on reduction of copper solution in alkaline medium. And in molasses solution, as we saw that there are a lot of impurities in molasses, there are some impurities which are showing property of reduction of copper. So this method cannot be used to determine true sucrose by difference between reducing sugars and total reducing sugars. The non-sugar substances are measured as reducing sugars. We don't know which are reducing sugars and which are reducing substances. So, as we are measuring all the reducing substances by this Lane-Enon titrimetric method, the results are overestimated. We can see in short, ICUMSA GS433 Lane-Enon constant volume method. It is seller's profit and buyer's loss. The circle shows the reading or sugars obtained by Lane and Enon method. The green circle shows the reading for reducing sugars, and blue area is showing other reducing substances. So overestimated results for reducing sugars are obtained by 3 to 4%. This is, we are now introducing gas chromatographic technique to the participants. And this is direct sugar measurement, as in both of polarimetry and Lane-Enon method, we were measuring sugar indirectly. We were measuring some of the properties of sugar, like rotating plane of polarization or reduction of copper solution. But this is a direct method. In this method, the method is not new. It is used worldwide and it is official ICUMSA method. This is not new technique. Only the Indian sugar industry is not adopting such kind of technologies. Glucose and fructose and sucrose, they are physically separated before their measurements. So this is the specific property of this method. By this method, great accuracy is achieved as compared to traditional methods. By this method, in next presentation, the details will be discussed. Exact determination of unfermented sugars and fermented sugars are possible. And there are so many benefits, as we are getting separate glucose, fructose and sucrose. We can determine G by F ratio, which can tell us the condition of meal sanitation, and also we can do sugar balance in processing. So these are all extra benefits of this methodology. So let us compare the three methods. Selectivity, which method should be selected? For polarimetry, it is poor, Lane-Enon poor, but gas chromatography is excellent. Accuracy, both methods, accuracy is not there, but for gas chromatography, we can get high accuracy. Cost, both methods, polarimetry and Lane-Enon, they are low cost methods, but you can compare the cost of sugar you are losing through molasses and you are getting through molasses. The cost of gas chromatography is not high. You can calculate the cost incurred in trading of molasses, and then you can see the cost of this technique. Then expertise, high expertise is required, but we don't have the lack of high expertise. Physical separation of glucose, fructose and sucrose is achieved. It is not possible in both of the methods, Lane-Enon and polarimetry, but it is possible in gas chromatography. Suitability for trading. Gas chromatography is the best method for trading of molasses. So best suitability is there for trading purpose. So you are going to see the demonstrations and more details of gas chromatography methods. I will conclude here. Polarimetry and Lane-Enon techniques are indirect and unable for exact sugar measurements in molasses. Trading of molasses needs an accurate method for sugar estimation. result of gas chromatography analysis should be experimented. Initially, we should do experiments with analysis of number of molasses samples with gas chromatography as well as the traditional methods, so that we can know what we are losing and what we are gaining by accepting chromatographic techniques along with existing methods as a trial by sugar factories and distilleries. And Mark Labs is ready to carry out GC analysis. Thank you very much. And this is all about my presentation. Thank you.